Had to take my heart off the icebox, no offense, Johnny Day. I'm someone new, my heart lead like the world's strongest zoo. It's very interesting, it's a motherfucking water view. I never knew how deep it grew, but the path I take is beautiful and overdue. I see where Mars limits fade. The sun get close, but I'm not afraid. My voice will shake this fucking state, but still come out true. I know about me, but I know about you. I ask myself these questions just to hear how it would sound. What if I make it? Will they hate it when I'm not around? Live in this town, shadows talk too fucking loud. What if I rise? Would they try to bring me down?
That's crazy as how what they take. They'll probably have cold.
Maybe they'll fake it. If I touch a mill, will they try to steal? Loyalty's fragile, nothing feels real. In the crowd, I stand by the odds, whatever's true. My circle's tight, only trust a few. I'm expired by the unknown view. 1 + 1 was never 2. Saturn rain, thinking bulletproof. Nobody said this how I do. Shut them breaking right through. These walls of Jericho, I ain't got nothing to lose. I ask myself these questions just to hear how it would sound. What if I make it? Will they hate it when I'm not around? Live in this town, shadows talk too fucking loud. What if I rise? Would they try to bring me down? I ask myself these questions just to hear how it would sound. What if I make it? Will they hate it when I'm not around? Live in this town, shadows talk too fucking loud. What if I rise? Would they try to bring me down? Would they try to bring me down? Would they try to bring me down?
Yeah, just said a prayer for all of my enemies. Cause see the value in things that give them security is all in jeopardy. I took on training in yin yang, I just been balancing energy. I know that you gon' remember me, all that I taught you is stored in your memory. Watching the matrix break, my mind used to be a prison, I done made a great escape. I found relief and release and peace, and that been my saving grace. Now I've been playing for keeps, they keep trying to change the pace. It's only one me, it's only one you, nobody could take your place. Watching social media become the norm in the media. Got you moving like a clown now, you a local comedian. Hardly doing what you like, you only want likes, you hoping they seeing it. Lying in hopes they believe in it, all in your stories, you know that it's corny, but you get the validation from attention. You got options, DM popping, but when it come to real, I'm who you mention. When another plan, they went offensive, they don't understand, so they defensive. I think they need to go open their chakras, I think they need to go focus their senses, hoping you meant it, cause you'll never get that me again. I'm just the type of force that you won't see again. Think you be better off, go ahead be it then. I gave you blind faith, wasn't seeing it. I was in flow state, you ain't see them in. Know your role fake and you don't wanna see me when I gave the truth to you when you seen it. And shouldn't be news to you, this ain't seeing it. Man in the mirror is who I'm competing with. Succeeding and focus on self now, Leo, so you know I'm coming with fire. Just watching haters have a meltdown, come to the fame, they let it be sire. So they soul is on sale now, is Flo retired or is he just quiet? They can hardly even tell now.
You are watching a master.
Heard you looking for me, you needed some more inspiration, but I'm busy working on this mastery. A different class of league, I got the information to deliver something that I'm never done with. No oppressors hunting for my liberation, no consideration for the way I made it through the matrix. I ain't do no
desperation to stand in this prison. Voices of my choices, ambiguous ambition. I'm a Roman in the home of the fall, true spirit. Many say they answered the call, but don't hear it. It's the black messiah, made in love, here to grow. Fan the fire, so cold I make it snow. Call me sire, no fold in my soul. Expanding higher, as above, so below. Till my last breath, living cause I'm my lifer. 7 on the chest like easy money sniper. Essence of the crest shines and entice ya. Presence in the nation, they name it divine cipher. I've been gone, no intent of circling back. Generational curses, yeah, we working on that. ASAP, get the dough, call it Lucci. Nalo stay strapped like big snow round Gucci. More Panther parties, way less lamping. Flow until I'm dead, poet like Fred Hampton. Fixed up, you know it's kinda scary. One time, I am a revolutionary. You know they fear it, but hear it in the booth. Fuck how you feel, you can't conceal the truth. A race war, nobody calling the truth. Letting it all hang, this the year of the new Nalo.
Instant hit, critical. I keep it real, I don't really do subliminals. No. Niggas say I fell off, how pitiful. I'm like, if I fell off, I landed on the pinnacle. Nowadays I'm cynical. Should I kill the game or let these lames in they lanes think they lyrical? By the time I figure it out, don't give a fuck. No. A nigga tried testing me, he out of luck. You can find me talking that rapping shit, capping then rapping about my dick, probably in some random chick. And I'll never call a woman a bitch unless she is, yo. Shit, she can still get it though. Everybody tell me you the GOAT, bro. I'm like, please tell me something that I don't know. I don't need love, I want head. Only thing I trust is God and his bread. Yeah, even Jesus had a Judas, Caesar had a Brutus. Your heart got a Cupid. So if you fall in love, then you really just stupid. If you dash back for more, then you just clueless. Gemini gang, we really do this. Intellectual, but I go stupid. Dumb. It's the black messiah. If you're looking for the truth, homie, I'm your supplier.
Everything would be alright if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're gonna have to put it back in the hands of the people. Now we say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power to yellow people. Black power to black people. X power to those that we left out.
Welcome to your new moon in Virgo ceremony. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it. As you can see, we're at the second and final new moon that kicked off 28 degrees opposite Saturn. And congratulations for those of you who have made it. I've appropriately entitled this Breakthrough into the New World. Okay. Because this is the short stretch out of time that we're going to be phasing out many cycles, 30-year cycles with Saturn, 165-year cycles with Neptune, 85-year cycles with Uranus, 248-year cycles with Pluto. Even 20-year cycles with the North Node in Pisces. It's all being phased out. All the utilities that your parents and their parents' parents generationally have used and bought and have brought up the community and have, you're used to seeing their banners. They've all been bought out by one company, probably owned by BlackRock. And I'm not saying they're actually owned by BlackRock, but let's just say hypothetically, they've all been bought out by one company. So now you're paying one company for all these utilities. And coming into next year, some of you may just opt to go independent or continue on renewing said lease. We're entering quite literally a brave new world. And let me kind of show you what that looks like. So in 6 months from now, of course, as you can see, we will have the Sun conjunct Neptune, conjunct Saturn, March 21st, coming into next Aries season. That is this brave new world. Nothing will ever be the same. Okay, North Node will get ready to go into Aquarius. We're going to have we're going to have Jupiter, Leo, South Node, Leo, North Node, Pluto, Aquarius. That's full scale revolution. And considering Nepal, Gen Z burned down Nepal in like 2 days. You better understand that's a precursor. I'm not saying that that's going to happen like that everywhere in every country, but it lets you know where the mindset of the new generation is. That being said, the Sun, Neptune, Saturn, Aries is the official start of this brand new cycle. It is a new independent cycle. And that's going to lead to Sun, Uranus, Gemini, which is going to lead to Sun, Jupiter, Leo. And this coincides after Sun, Pluto, Aquarius, Sun, North Node, Pisces. So everything that we're breaking through into is preparing you for this period. Okay. And we're going now, in order to really make sense of and appreciate where we are now. As you can see, 29 degrees. This new moon happened at 28 degrees, opposite Saturn at 28 degrees Pisces. So in order to really appreciate this, we need to go back 6 months. Because as you can see, 6 months ago, when we were at the last Aries season, we had the Sun-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. So this was the last year that you had on contract. This was the last year for your contract you've probably had your whole life. Once again, the old world, the cumulative nature of everything you experience is not only shaped by your beliefs, but also influenced by the beliefs of the collective conscious and unconscious around you, the society around you, the reason why you have social customs that you are either expected or not expected to conform to, the reason why you are a part of a system, for better or for worse. I'm not in the belief that the system is automatically bad versus how it's being used to deceive or help its public. The reason why all that exists anyway is tied, of course, to these collective unconscious belief systems, these social normative principles, all of which are quite literally being drained down the toilet, the cosmic toilet, the North Node Neptunian cosmic toilet. You have people stuck in the twilight zone, romanticizing a past that will never exist again, as it gets replaced with sex robots, trans rights, as well as a replacement of all jobs. Okay. And when I say trans rights, I'm not saying that in support of or against trans rights, versus a very relevant issue that we are going to see actually take more of a forefront, whether you like it or fucking not. Okay. You're gonna have people who romanticize the past, who try and like demonize all trans people and act like all the problems in the world are happening because of trans people. And then you're going to have people who try and use these issues to take advantage of trans people and act like, okay, we can just use this to get away with every rule, all of which is still taking advantage of, marginalized groups. And I'm using that as an example because it's the hot controversial shit. And it seems to have almost sparked Civil War too. So that just lets you know how significant it is. I think it's a really good example because Neptune in Aries is going to challenge everything from identity politics to individual civil rights, and of course, important rights, and sex robots and artificial intelligence. Okay, so the reason why I think it's such a good example, though, is because the last time, of course, in the 1700s, when the 1800s, when Neptune was last in Aries, America had its first civil war. And I think the contrast between issues back then versus now are eerily similar, but also so different. It lets you know we are in a different world. And the people who are going to be most disappointed are the people who are, for some reason, forgetting that the only thing constant in life is change and nothing ever stays the same. Anybody who is unable to adapt is going to get left behind. Adapting doesn't mean to compromise your values and your morals. It means to fucking adapt. So, like, if you cannot adapt, you're fucked. You're going to get left behind. That's it. That's it. For those of you who can adapt, you can keep your morals, you can keep your values, but you're able to adapt to the times you're in. Well, we are breaking through into the new world. And once again, I want to break down the last 6 months to help you understand why this is one of the most important eclipse cycles we've ever really had in a lifetime, and why, these events that are occurring in order to trigger the entire world towards this next stage of global conflict is by design. It's not coincidence. It's not like celestial forces are instigating all of humanity to do something. And it's amazing to see people falling for it, falling for the same old politics, falling for the same old let's point the finger and blame the other side thing. And people just basically getting finessed by a celestial quality of forces and functions taking bets on how soon y'all gonna plunge yourself into fighting each other. I've never seen it this clearly. That being said, of course, it's important to understand a lot of this stems from these eclipse cycles, from these Saturn cycles. Okay, Pluto hasn't been in Aquarius since America signed its Declaration of Independence, and the guillotine was invented, beheading everyone in France. And Neptune wasn't in Aries since, of course, America had its first identity crisis, wondering whether it is a union state or confederate. All right, crazy shit, because it's starting to happen again. Will it happen like last time? I hope not. Whether it's trans rights or Israel that sparks World War III, it looks like World War III might spark over Israel, but nothing is as what it seems. And I don't necessarily want to distract you with current event politics, because it's way deeper than this. It's pretty much just a recycling of karma and the collective conscious and unconscious that is playing out in the way we see it played out. Everything that is occurring. For example, it's very interesting where we see immigration being an issue in Europe, where the immigration issues in Europe stem back to the colonialistic efforts the British Empire did to displace many people, which now led to what we're seeing today. And it's important to understand that everything, Israel's involvement in the Middle East, for better or for worse, you could say is 100,000% the reason why there are issues in the Middle East right now. If you were to ask a lot of people in the Middle East, if you ask a lot of countries, and that's not a criticism of Israel, that's just kind of tying in history in order to see how past cycles are influencing current cycles. You're seeing very dangerous levels of course, revisionist history and more genocide, with which has never been new and not specific to just one group of people. So you're going to see a bunch of fucking cowards more than ever who are afraid of, losing civil liberties for saying the truth, versus people who really don't give a fuck about that shit and will be very clear. Like, that's the whole theme for this new world coming forward. Saturn in Aries is going to test your individual rights and what kind of limits you're willing to push in order to openly just give in to fucking lies and bullshit, or speak up against it. Revolutionary periods. And if you think the rest of the world isn't going to step up, you'd be surprised. Turns out a lot more people aren't as stupid as it might seem in the world. Maybe a lot of people just keep silent. So where you will be when it's time for you to be tested. Just remember everything you've been taught. And that's why this is very important. Once again, if you're getting too caught up in nationality and identity and in certain trivial facets, you'll be pointing a finger at people who you should be fighting with. like-minded people who, regardless of who, see what you see, versus getting too caught up in this side versus that side. But hey, that being said, once again, this is 6 months ago. In order to look at this new moon that we are having right now, you have to understand that that came from the eclipse in Pisces, the last eclipse we had in Pisces. This was the unlocking of your entire belief system in order to shape by now how your behavioral patterns must match these beliefs. Then coming into Aries, of course, this is what enabled you to apply this activation of this divine magic, these belief systems that Neptune was helping you generationally transcend. And the North Node, of course, is putting you in a position to step forward. Okay. And Dove Visions, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. I don't want to play this whole like who's supporting the most or least. Like, I'm sure some people who are only freeing Palestine, that's all they know, right? Like so many people only know so much in their world, right? So maybe that's where their focus is. They have family there. They don't have time to focus on other stuff. But yeah, it's very important to understand all this shit is happening throughout the world. In South America, Africa, Asia, the Middle East. That's why it was so interesting relative to September 10th. If you just watched a certain news platform, you would think the tragedy of September 10th was what happened to a certain man when there was a school shooting that happened 3 hours ago. There was a stabbing that happened yesterday. Revolution was breaking out throughout the entire world on just one day, September 10th, the eclipse. Everything happened. Nepal rebuilt their government after burning it down. That was an important eclipse day, and it exposed the hypocrisy of, you know, a group of people who feel like their tragedies are the worst, despite it kind of happening because of their own influence and rhetoric. And you're not allowed to say that, or that's celebrating their success. Like, everything sequenced very beautifully to kind of let you know who's compromised and who's actually, you know, fighting and working for freedom, and to not necessarily allow those voices to dim your voice down, because they're clearly not only on the wrong side of history. Everything that they do from this moment moving forward is going to continue to backfire so badly for them. It's actually going, and this is generalized, whoever it applies to, you know who you are. All the stuff that are being done to limit people's voices and the constraints is going to backfire so bad. Ask Disney, who's lost $4 billion because they thought they could pull that shit and like cancel somebody for pretty much just saying something light, not even that serious. So this is a level of hypocrisy we're seeing right now. And it's very important. It's very important because, once again, it's going to align what we're going to see moving forward. So Aries season is what now applied this direction forward of your beliefs, right? Aries relative to your identity, okay, is now, since the eclipse in Pisces, what had you apply the direction you're moving these beliefs towards, how you identify with said beliefs. And then, of course, that's what led to Taurus season. Taurus season is what began to integrate the original first Pluto awakening with the Sun-Pluto transit, break it through the ground, and then strengthen, of course, the values that shape and activate these intangible beliefs. How do we start to sense them through our natural five senses? Then, of course, we had Gemini season to conclude Jupiter that had leveled up all Geminis everywhere from Gunna to Kendrick Lamar to even President Trump, who people think is on the Epstein list, and whether he is or not, trust me, the plot thickens. All of these people inevitably evolved, okay? All of these people inevitably leveled up and are very important relative to the roles they're playing right now, to really elevate and really, you know, shape and influence human thought. This is what now created ideas and mindsets that began to shape these belief systems. It's important. Once again, Pisces is wrapping up 30 plus years of belief systems that you have been testing how well you practice what you preach. It's not enough to have been believing certain things your whole life. That's why certain things you believed your whole life crumbled under the weight of, I don't know, real life and truth, making you realize that maybe certain things you were taught to believe were really never real in the first place. It was just meant to make certain people feel comfortable. It was meant to give plausible deniability for others to not take responsibility or accountability. And you realize that these beliefs do not apply with you. These could be beliefs you've made up. These could be beliefs that you were told to believe. So very important. It can't be understated enough the importance of belief and belief systems in your life generally, but specifically this year. And that's everything that, of course, has been challenged. Gemini season, of course, that began to really, challenge how well you can support said ideas. Now, of course, through Cancer season, how we have activated this Jupiter, and now we are driving forward said beliefs. This is where Saturn and Neptune originally entered Aries, and now we began to challenge how deeply we can feel where we're from and how much more we can evolve our psychic and emotional body while strengthening the integrity of our character. This really kicked us into the second part of this year. Now, this is where we also started to realize that our country is compromised and our country is bought out by foreign interests, and that as much as they try to silence people in this country, many people in this country are recognizing that the left isn't the issue, the right isn't the issue, but maybe a foreign entity that has pretty much bought most of the politicians in our country. I'm not going to say the name of this country. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. You all know who exactly I mean. It's to the point where bills have been attempted to be introduced that if you criticize this country, your citizenship will get revoked. Thankfully, that bullshit got blocked. It was not passed, but it's letting you know the influence here. This is something people on both sides are really starting to see, and considering, the influence of a certain agent who's blackmailed people. It's interesting to see nothing really come up of that. I don't really care too much about all that, but it's very important to kind of keep this in mind, because this is going to play so much more prominence, all right, to the point where a lot of people feel like this country is responsible for the recent assassination. I don't think so. As far as the assassination is concerned, I believe that Aries did it by himself. Aries does not like Libra. A lot of people are creating conspiracy theories about this assassination. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but look, Aries was beefing with a Libra. Their suns were opposite about like 5 degrees. It was personal. I like to think he acted by himself because he was pretty much used as an actor of the Horseman War to facilitate the next stage of where we're headed to, and to expose how at a moment's notice, one side will immediately blame the other with no proof, just to push a civil war, because that's just how they feel, and then turn cancel culture into consequence culture, even though it's literally the same fucking shit. Now, that being said, Cancer season began to push forward your feeling of these beliefs that we have begun to unlock in Pisces, and that's where in Leo season that prepared for us, of course, to now integrate the creativity through Leo season of everything we passionately, of course, want to stand on said beliefs. Leo season, of course, was where now Saturn and Neptune began to retrograde and put you in a position to now prepare for Virgo season, where now at present we are at the final new moon. And what this is seeking to do is break you through. Now, the significance of this, once again, is, of course, Saturn in Pisces. So we had Saturn conjunct Pisces at the very end of Pisces. That was the activation of the final part of the cycle. Coming into 2026, we will begin a brand new 30-year cycle. Okay. So it puts you in a position to realistically kind of step through this and understand very interestingly the nature of how not only you are tying into everything you've ever believed, but now we have concluded the magic pipeline from what you believed in March you could achieve and how you could live it, to now being aware of how you live it. Because now this is going to set us 6 months from now. As you can see, 6 months from now, we're going to be conjunct Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So we are breaking through the establishment of new mastered habits and behaviors, new moon in Virgo, opposite Saturn, that break through our belief systems. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing that I need to tell you right now is from here on out, moving forward, because next week we're going to have the monthly peace report. I'm going to bring back the Libra season contributions for my people watching monthly. Every single day, every single degree moving forward, you are breaking through with the entire world. This is the prerequisite. Once we come into 6 months from now, this is going to let you know who's going to be participating in the next round of the Hunger Games. Pluto in Aquarius is the Squid Games, or we could say Hunger Games round 2. By the time you step into this new cycle, you're going to see who is to your left and who is to your right going to be competing in these Hunger Games with you. And that means the next 6 months from here, a lot of motherfucking people are going to fall off. A lot of motherfucking people are going to fall off. A lot of people are going to fall off. Okay, a lot of people are not going to make it to this next round. Even if they're alive and breathing, the beliefs they believe, the entire change of their attitude, they're not even the same person. And this is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. This is the road to the new world order. This is the road to the new world order, where we will have GTA 6 and more automation replacing jobs than we have ever seen, for better or for worse. Okay, we're going to officially kick in this next cycle, and you are going to take 2 weeks to 6 months to 30 years relative to Saturn of development. You're going to be experiencing one of the greatest breakthroughs ever. The reason why there's a totality, the reason why there's an absoluteness that is ascribed to this magic cycle. Remember, this is a new moon at the very final degree of a mutable sign. This is of adjustment and change and perspective. Everything that constitutes everything you have ever believed is changing forever, as you will release by the wayside an unconscious competent sense of mastered habitual talents, techniques, and abilities that you will be breaking through day by day over the next 90 days in order to bring with you into this next world era, where a whole generation of crash outs born from 1995 to 2008, similar to what they did with Nepal, is ready to burn this world to a cinder, shoot United Health CEO healthcare providers, and assassinate speakers. That's Gen Z, y'all. That's Gen Z. Look at the increasing gang violence and drill music. They're not here to fuck around. I'm giving you the spectrum of bad to the good and revolutionary, and Gen Alpha, Pluto Capricorn, and Gen Beta, Pluto Aquarius is right after them. They are coming of age. They are pushing for now. Us millennials and Gen Xers, we taking a back seat. We're their Kakashis, we're their Jiraias. We're gonna have to mentor or lead moving forward. I know some of you instigated all this though, so just be very mindful. This is a very different world we're stepping into, and a lot that the older generation is freaking out because these kids are not listening to them, and never will they. So just be very mindful, because the way you have now aligned new habitual patterns with belief systems, Saturn opposite this new moon is testing. You have spent 6 months developing your belief systems. Virgo wants to ask, how is this new lifestyle aligned with these belief systems? Everything about your belief systems that have to change must change to match these new techniques and habits. Everything about these habits that have to change to match these belief systems must, of course, switch, because you're coming into the most intense reality check. Whatever does not align with what's real or has integrity of these belief systems will not make it into the new world. It is a standardization check, where now with the new moon in Virgo, you are having social context of how this applies or not. And this is all going to be applied through Libra season over the next 2 weeks, where now this mastery of being aware and understanding how your habits through the first new moon in Virgo, which was the montage to adjust what we're ready to commit to break through, this is going to be you now taking action cardinally, socially, intelligently, altruistically with other people to now apply the shift of behavior. And what that's going to look like over the next 3 months is some of the most legendary breakthrough you've ever experienced ever in your life, for better, for worse. If you have sowed bullshit, you're going to reap a world of bullshit. If you have sowed liberation, you are going to be amongst the other people in the world who are going to reap liberation, because Saturn and Kronos is seen as this negative, evil, malefic planet that is bullshit. It is liberation. Saturn is liberation. Saturn is only a malefic planet if you are a lazy piece of shit who takes absolutely no accountability, and you spend your whole life blaming everybody but yourself for your problems. Then Saturn is gonna fucking suck, because Saturn is going to hold you entirely accountable, and it's going to feel like it's you versus the world. But if you actually have even a smidgen of integrity, then I think you have everything to look forward to this Saturn opposition, because it's only taking into account your entire life up until this point and getting you ready to break it through completely. So if we look into 3 months from now, as opposed to 6 months where we will begin this new cycle, we're going to have Pisces, we're going to have Libra, Scorpio, and then of course the end of Sag. By the end of Sagittarius, Jupiter will be retrograde, Uranus will be retrograde, Saturn, Pluto, and Neptune will be direct. Okay, we're going to have this square to Saturn and Neptune. That's going to conclude everything we're breaking through now. You're going to have a peak vision of what everything we've done from March to September means. You're going to see the final visuals of seeing the meaning of what all this change you were meant to do is. Then we're going to apply a Capricorn, have the final eclipse in March, unlock these final changed beliefs, step into this new world order coming into Aries. Let me tell you, like I told you last month, the rest of this year is insane. It is super fucking nuts. And if you're still caught up romanticizing how you wish things used to be and you're not ready to adapt, you will get left behind. It's going to happen so fucking fast. Okay, if you're not square on what you fight for, if you're not square on why you're here, most of these ideas might ostracize you, might make you feel weird to all sides in question. If you're not, you're going to be peer pressured to join a side and you're going to be left by the wayside. Versus if you remember your unique, singular, individual reasons, whether in alignment with the collective or against the collective, why the fuck you're here, why you're doing what you're doing, that you will not get caught up by the blizzard of change that is pretty much getting ready to happen now. So with that being said, of course, first and foremost, before I break down the next 2 weeks, let us do a very quick ritual. And I would, of course, would love for you guys to, of course, set an intention with me. Basically, now that we've made it to this, what are you committing relative to Saturn? What is your contract? How is it that you fully want to live your life coming into the next 6 months? What is it you're ready to, of course, this is basically an extension of the first new moon we had. We're just going to put it next to the contract blade of the Reaper, Chronos here. This is life or death, basically. What are you really fully ready to commit to? How is it that you truly want to live your life if you had no, and I mean no restrictions relative to this moving forward? Okay. What are all the features? What is everything? Saturn wants to know what's everything you believe you can live in your life. And if you think it's unrealistic, you're not doing it. You're not doing it right. What is everything realistic you believe you can live, and how are you going to get ready to step through that? Because everything you've loaded over the past 6 months is now breaking through this. The most important thing with this opposition, everything Saturn is breaking through 180-degree opposition to Sun and Moon. So now, of course, whether you make this as an intention, whether you make this as a wish, I do have the Ultimate Manifestation playlist down below. Your mission, should you choose to accept, is to push forward with that as if you have already achieved it. This is either too hard for you to do, you either can't get yourself in the mood, or you're being an adult and you're making it happen. You're not feeling like, oh, it's not in my reality yet. You committed to, no, bitch, I made it happen. I don't care if I see it or not. This is what I'm living. You're either a magician and you can do that, or you're a muggle and you're explaining external factors and circumstances for why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. That's the divide right now. We're not calling with nobody. You either get it or you don't. We've been preaching this message. We've been practicing what we preach. We do not necessarily let the external circumstances dictate what it is we feel and experience. Oh, well, if this is what you do, how come this hasn't happened? Bitch, it has happened. I just told you what happened. I just told you who I thought I was. A god. The fuck is we talking about? Anyway, that being said, we're going to push forward here. Commit. We're not wavering. We're not, I want this, but I don't know if I can have. Listen, if you're a child, get the fuck out of here. This is for people who are ready to bring in this new consciousness into the new world. We're not going back and forth with people who don't even know their fucking moon sign, who don't know their chart ruler, and they're trying to tell you anything about yourself or them. Fuck out my face. That being said, the next day moving forward, we step into Libra season. I'm going to do the Libra season monthly peace report and tribe report for all year. We're going to have one new moon at the end of Libra season. So this is like an unofficial beginning new moon in Libra. And we're immediately going to apply with Mercury in Libra and Mars in Scorpio, this social breakthrough. We have finally made it to cuffing season. I'm sorry. We finally made it to the harvest era. We are harvesting. I saw that Demon Slayer movie, by the way. That shit was fire. We are harvesting. Okay. The day it released, actually. And the moon in Libra is going to adjust the balance with which we take this mutable mindset and behavior and now begin to balance how we cardinally take action and move it forward, how we begin to apply the nature of our habits towards our interpersonal relationship skills with other people. All right. Then the moon is going to go over Mars. You're going to feel how much more horny you have ever been. And trust me, you guys are going to be horny like you've never been. Mars is going to be square in Pluto. I don't care if you're celibate. I don't care if you act like you're prude. And does anyone even still use prude anymore? I just wanted to use that word. Or if you feel like, oh, I can't, you're going to be horny. Everyone's going to be horny. This is the completion of the Mars Pluto cycle. Mars is the first to complete this. So this is going to really intensify extremely your desire and how you're aligning that with this awakening or not. If this is unfocused, if this is not necessarily channeled well, your horniness will drive you. Do not let lust drive you towards this. This is about to bust a collective nut. All right, this is going to now strengthen and manifest this part of the cycle, which is going to give you a psychoanalytical understanding of this social awareness, balance, and context. Now, the most important part of the first couple of days is that the Sun opposition to Neptune in Aries is a sneak peek for Libra seasons we're going to have for the next 13 years, especially if we look by next year. As you can see, the Sun will be opposite Neptune. Exactly. And we're going to have this dynamic every year for the next 13 years. Just like for the next 20 years, the Sun will be trining Pluto and it will be trining Uranus. Next year is after we officially start this next cycle. So the opposition to Saturn will be the first time we're coming into a return on investment and a breakthrough from this new cycle versus this year, which is wrapping up the old cycle. But we're still having a sneak peek of the Neptune opposition, the Pluto trine, the Uranus trine. It's like we're still in the old management, but we're seeing elements of the new management put their branding on before we sign the contract with the new management. So you're going to be processing this reimagination of your identity, these radical new thoughts, this awakening of humanity. Do not sleep on this Neptune opposition, Pluto trine, Uranus trine. Uranus trine is going to be happening every Libra season until 2033. Pluto trine is going to be happening every Libra season until 2044, and the Neptune opposition till 2039. These are very important pillars that are going to help you be aware of how these more unconventional, reimagined facets of your character for this new world and age are actively balanced and presented towards others. Libra is giving you an idea of how to polish these ideas, where now it might be weird for you to say that I'm a starseed energy healer, but in 15 years, you and like 50,000 other people will be. And now it's more mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Something that sounds crazy as fuck now, but will actually be cool in the next coming of years and actually have application and actually have scientific literature to back up what you're doing. Okay. So with that being said, of course, the moon in Scorpio is going to be strengthening this deeper psychological understanding, psychoanalytical understanding, giving you much more psychological strength, which is intangible, right? That's going to now lead us into, of course, the third house Sagittarius cycle. Since we are following the cycle of the moon, this is where you're going to start to see the higher meaning of the fuckery at foot and what we're activating. We're activating breakthrough. Libra, Scorpio, and Sag is breakthrough, whereas Aries, Taurus, Gemini is activation. Cancer, Leo, and Virgo is integration. Leo, Scorpio, Sag is harvest, breakthrough. Cap, Aqua, Pisces, conclusion. So we are activating activation signature, the breakthrough arc. We're breaking through over the next 3 months, and that's why everything moving forward is going to begin to hyper accelerate all the work you've put in over the past 6 months. Okay. And this is where you're going to be actively now, everything you have developed this year, Aries season, you're going to be through Cancer that deepened how it is you integrate this character, break through who you're connecting with. Sag, opposite, of course, Uranus is going to make a very interesting Sag season and moon and Sag cycle every season to really show you how you are developing this innovation and radical nature of your mindset. And then, of course, as we kind of break through or activate this higher perspective of what actions you're taking with other people, boom, we will begin to integrate this coming into Capricorn by you coming into a controlled, organized utilizing this understanding of said balance opposite Neptune, which we'll go back into Pisces, but I mean the influence is still there nonetheless. We will have Mars getting closer into Scorpio, and we will have Venus now polishing up all of this change of our behavior and how we're going to be polishing our habits during this period. So don't sleep on Venus's transit through here opposite Saturn. Of course, the moon opposite Jupiter will, of course, organize how much of our feelings we're expanding. So we'll understand how to utilize these greater psychic developments before it retrogrades in Scorpio. And then, of course, we can't forget the moon Pluto conjunctions every 28 days for the next 20 years, which will just kind of update us as to the level of awakening or corruption or unhingedness in humanity. By the way, if you're wondering why humanity is getting more and more unhinged, blame Hades. Hades, the higher degree it will go, you're going to see humanity get more unhinged. You're going to see humanity snap. If you want to study this from 2008 to 2024, when Pluto was going in through Capricorn, as the degree rose, we saw more elements of humanity being more unhinged. And its response to the lack of integrity in government, in authoritarian structures. And now in Aquarius, this is going to be full-on humanitarian corruption. All right. In human spaces, in public spaces, the collective unconscious is awakening through corruption, through purity. It's not entirely all bad corruption, but yeah, just we're blaming Pluto for this, okay? Which now we can blame Scorpio as a result. But that Mars square to Pluto is going to be a sneak peek of the sun during its supernatural breakthrough, because remember, the sun was originally opposite Pluto after it conjuncted Pluto. Once it reaches 1-2 degrees Scorpio, we're beginning to complete that cycle. So that's what makes this year so important in setting up all these concepts. Anyway, the moon in Libra is now going to fully help us understand the higher knowledge with which we interpersonally apply these habits and interact with others. October 2nd should be interesting, of course, as well, because of this Venus South Node conjunction, which might revisit early childhood habits in defining love, in feeling value and worth, and relative to the past 5 years, a round of relationships you've entertained and how this changing your lifestyle, Venus is polishing to align with these changes of habits. Very important. That's what's going to lead into the dream life cycle, coming, of course, into the moon in Pisces, squaring Uranus and Gemini to make sure this change of beliefs align with this radicalization of your thoughts. And of course, the subsequent moon Saturn conjunction revisits these belief systems that since Virgo season, you've begun to break through and apply in relationships with others. This now, of course, will integrate everything that Libra has activated relative to your mindset and vision around who you connect with. And then, of course, the integration of how you behave with other people. Boom, leading us into a very potent full moon, which I think will be, guys, we're going to do the declaration of non-consent during the next and final new moon. We could do it during the full moon, but we're going to do it the final new moon in Libra. I could have done it this one, but this is the next full moon. So this full moon is going to now help you be the opposite of the Libra moon Aries sun. You're understanding your authenticity required in order to bridge altruism with others. Right? Moon in Aries is going to make sure you don't lose who you are. So it's like, yeah, I need to fit in with others. I need to balance with others, but who am I doing that so that I'm not just completely letting go of who I am in order to just be a cog in the societal structure? I need to bring my authenticity into these spaces. And that's why the full moon is going to really help harvest this individuality. Harvesting individuality means we're breaking through in individual signs. We're harvesting Aries, Taurus, and Gemini before we complete in Cancer individuality. All right. So something to keep in mind And yeah, this is going to really invigorate you up. This is going to be the first point of breakthrough. So the next 3 breakthroughs we're going to have is full moon in Taurus, Scorpio season, and then full moon in Gemini, Sagittarius season. The next 2 weeks is the first breakthrough shout out. We've adjusted this great magic and behavior, and then we're going to apply it relative to how these behaviors break through our partnerships, relationships, agreements, dynamics with everyone. Okay. So that in a nutshell is what to look forward to. By the way, for those of you who have been aligned to supernatural abilities, to superpowers, to unique attributes relative to your abilities, all of these are new world mechanics. As Uranus and Gemini and Pluto and Aquarius move forward, you're going to have increasingly understanding literature with Neptune and Saturn and Aries to help you understand new facets of how to identify yourself. Especially now, for a lot of you guys, the new technological program and rollout is we don't need smartphones. We can just have it on our hand. And I know a lot of you are not going for that mark of the beast shit, even if it's not mark of the beast. They're going to tell you over and over it's not mark of the beast. I'm going to tell you it's not mark of the beast. And a lot of you are still not going to do this shit. I respect it. I see where you're coming at. There's going to be a generational divide. The younger kids are going to do it. Whereas our older generation stopped at this, we're going to stop at this. You guys don't want the new shit. So this is going to bring new levels, new devils, guys. I'm letting you know that right now. And it's going to prepare for you to take into account the energy manipulation, the power over the psyche, your psychic abilities. All of this is going to begin to break through like it's never before, because the first 6 months since Pisces season was developing this within you through your beliefs, through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your passion, through your habits. All of this is internal. Libra is now bridging this towards other people. You're going to start to see a breakthrough of these abilities just seemingly come out of nowhere, but it was not coming out of nowhere. You've shaped your thoughts, feelings, identity, values, beliefs. So all of this over the next 6 months, you're going to see a more radical definition of breaking through these supernatural abilities like never before. And that's what's going to lead you into Aries season the next year, where now you debut in this new world order. I think what's also significant is the breakthrough of these supernatural abilities will coincide with a breakthrough of mass psychosis like you've never been seen. People seeing apparitions and not understanding that it's a projection of their own subconscious. People attributing their own psychic abilities to external gods and deities. More hallucinations, auditory and visual, than you've ever seen. Greater schizophrenic breakdowns because of people's inability to balance their new powers with maybe their reality. So, those of you who've done the work, those of you who've not spiritually bypassed, those of you who've been able to call your own self out in your own illusions and delusions, you're going to fare very well. All that work was for nothing. And for those who kind of just let that be someone else's job, they're in for the rudest awakening ever of all time. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out here. You guys stay blessed as always. We do have as an underlying theme the 7 of Cups. That which glitters is not gold. Be prepared for escapism and distractions. Be prepared for all sorts of different compelling ideas and theories. But mind you that, you know what I mean? You don't necessarily want to give in to bullshit. I think this is very fitting. I think having this with, of course, the Emperor card is going to invite for you to really get your shit together outside of these distractions and escapism. Creative visualization will help you moving forward, but the main card we have for you is the Magician, baby. So as above, so below. What is it that you have in your mindset? Watch my ultimate manifestation playlist. Okay, what do you have on your mind? That's what you're manifesting. This is so very important, guys. As above, so below. Do not necessarily entertain bullshit. Do not look at your external environment and say this is what it is. If this is what you say it is, it's what you say it is. This is the Crystal Magic Tarot. Shout out to my homeboy who hooked me up with this. Okay, so I don't care if it looks like you need a miracle. You're the miracle. That's the whole point of the magician. We don't wait for anything. We said we're gonna get it. That's what he got. Our words are a magic wand. We made the shit happen. Okay, if you have to adjust your mindset to get what you want, you can. M. Night Shyamalan is my magic word. It has yet to fail me. It works every time. So speak it to life. Align your habits with your word and beliefs, and watch nothing but miracles and magic break through for you. That's just how it works, baby. And I'm going to say this one more time. Because when I talk about the law of assumption, when I talk about manifestation, people later keep on saying, hey, you know, this is happening in my life. And I could tell you didn't watch the playlist. You didn't listen. Okay. You decide what the fuck is up. That's it. It's not what's happening around you. I've given you guys a story about how I told you money flows to me naturally and easily in less than 24 hours. Both times I got $700, $400. I didn't have to know where the fuck that money was. Okay. Does that what happens every time I say that? No. But does it have to? No, because I know I create my reality. I'm no one but myself to blame for what's happening. I can adapt to what's occurring. If I say I have a big booty Latina who I am in love with and I'm spending the rest of my life with and I'm rich as fuck, that's what it is. I don't know how culturally insensitive it is for me to say big booty Latina in 2025, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If I am with a 10 who's a 10, but she talks too fucking much, that's who I'm with. I don't care. And I don't care that she talks too fucking much. That's what I said I have. And that's what it is. Whether you could ascribe a woman to be a number or not, I don't give a fuck. Okay, if I say that I'm set for life and I wear clothes because Joyce is my master stylist and we just get money together, that's what the fuck it is. Everything else that I am doubting or whatnot is in the trash. And I am speaking as if I have the sexiest Latina lady by my side, whether she's Latina, whether she's Russian, whether she's Indian, whether she's Ghanaian, it doesn't matter. I got exactly what I want because I said that's what the fuck I want. And yes, watching Sammy Ingram will change your life today. I added new videos to the Ultimate Manifestation playlist. Check it out. Check out the videos you haven't watched because some of you guys believe in it, but then you'll see, I need a job. I need money. Say you have it and don't waver. It's not supposed to be easy. It's simple. If it was easy, everyone would be a magician. But that's the difference between those of you who fold the moment shit happens versus those of you who stick with it. That's the whole purpose of this Saturn opposition. Those of you who are sticking with this shit, you're going to break it through. You've passed the belief systems. You let Saturn know that it doesn't matter what I see in my reality. This is what I believe. This is what I said it was. And you're going to be blessed as a result. Versus if you are a slave to your environment and to your external circumstances. People want others to hold him. This is how I read astrology and tarot now. When people ask me for card readings, when people ask me for astrology, I put the power in your hands. People are going to ask me, hey, can you tell me through the stars when this is going to happen in my life? Hey, can you pull this tarot card to let me know? And I have to tell you, no, you're going to let yourself know. I'm going to use the astrology to let you know what's possible. I'm going to use the tarot cards to let you know what opportunities your decisions will make. But I'm not going to, if I tell you the cards will do this, I am scamming you. If I tell you, oh, this is where the stars say you're going to do, I'm scamming you. I'm going to use these readings as a way to remind you, hey, you decide this. Like there's somebody who called and told me, hey, is my ex going to call me back? And I was trying to tell her, hey, that's up to you. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. A lot of people want a psychic to let them know, hey, Venus is going to bumblefuck retrograde and have sex with Mars, and your ex is going to call you. Hey, I pulled this tarot card. that takes the power out of your hands and lets you know, because I told you that this is going to happen. I'm not going to make it easy for you. You have to let me know as your reader, this is what you decide. I have decided I have the power in my own fucking hands, and this is what I want to happen. Then I will read the cards and let you know what your decision looks like, and let you know it's not me telling you what to do. I want to make you the creator again. And that's something a lot of frauds in this field will easily take your money and just guide you by the hand and tell you. That's what separates me from the people who are telling you that, oh yeah, you just have to wait till Mercury retrogrades so that you can do this, because you as a grown adult need to wait for planet transits to make a fucking decision. That's not what we do over here, bruh. And that's why we don't get paid as much. Do you know how much money I'd get paid if I did it that way? I'm not here to blow smoke up people's ass. I'm here to give power back to the people, the power that has always existed within you. My message is the same. You do not need anything outside of yourself in order to get whatever you want. I'm sorry you were lied to, just like I was lied to. We're going to come back to the truth together. I no longer have a 50% off sale, but if you would like a discount code, just email me if you want any readings. And this is it, guys. Moving forward, you have the power. Your word is your magic wand. What the fuck do you want to create? It's already yours. Now, use your words, use your thoughts, use your mindset to change that. I'm telling you one more time, our major manifestation moving forward is we're fucking set for life, baby. What are we talking about? We are set for life. There's nothing we want and nothing we need. We want for nothing. We have everything we want. Everything went through. We're putting in on this manifestation. And if you believe that, say that with me. We're set for life. I'm moving forward and behaving as someone who's set for life. Okay, I have people asking me for money on like a almost daily basis. I barely sold any readings. I barely have anything in my bank account, and I'm still giving away some money. Please don't ask me for, I don't have money like that, but like, I'm not letting people, I'm not like, oh, I don't have any money, so I can't give it to you. No, even though I could use more, I'm still going to give away here and there. You know why? Because I know I'm fucking set for life. I know I'm good for it. Money comes and goes, whether it looks like I have it or not. It is what it is. I'm going to behave as someone who has it. I'm Gemini, Sun, Cat, Moon, Taurus rising. So you guys stay blessed as always. I'm going to watch my rental car and then get it ready to be rented by somebody tomorrow. And until next time, peace.